Alright, looks like it's going. That's interesting. I can Chromecast my Twitch stream. I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. Anyway, hello everyone. This is Chris Ingerson. It is December 30th, almost the end of the year. And this is the December 30th TextQuest Dev stream. So today we're going to be doing some more loading screen stuff. Primarily, we're going to be focusing on creating a data collection that we can pull specific phrases from, because right now we just have hard-coded phrases for each of the mini games. So if I were to play, blah blah blah, all this stuff, go through here, new game, start a new game. Yep, normal, right, green, hero. Yes. So right now, oh, hello. Unity does not like that. Whew. Okay, that was a nasty hiccup. Huh, weird. Um, hmm, really? Really? Interesting. Anyway, I don't remember if magma is our only. I bet it was probably our only word. So right now it's just pulling out a hard-coded thing that we've added in there. In this case, it was magma. But we actually want these words to be contextual to the level. So that means that we're going to have to make a specific asset that can be referenced, and then we can pull data on based on the level that we're loading. So I'm going to stop delaying that. I don't know why we had like a weird hang up there when we first started loading, but hopefully that's just because that was the first time I've loaded it since I booted up Unity again. Anyway, so started streaming a little late because I was actually working on these things. I was setting these things up. So I have two loading screen spreadsheets on Google Drive. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to download these and basically parse them out and use them for the content. So we'll have, this is the content for the castle when it's doing the type as fast as you can to finish up a phrase before it's filled up. And we have our phrase on the left, and then the output that will be displayed after you put it in on the right. Similarly, we have the jumble data over here. Again, this is for the castle, so we'll have words on the left and outputs on the right. And to start, we're only going to do two for each one, and I'll add them as I go along. But I wanted to have two, that way we know that it's actually picking different ones. And admittedly, that'd be easier with more than two, but I'm bad at coming up with things in a quick way. So that's how it goes. So let's see. Your trip to the color. And for now, I'm just using shorthand colors, not true colors, or not hex colors, which I normally would use because I don't know all hex colors by heart yet. On eventful. Hopefully, he will grant request. All right. So we have these two, and I'll slowly add more tabs as we go along. We won't do it tonight, but that's just sort of the eventual data structures. I'll add more tabs. So each separate sheet will be for one particular level. So let's go ahead and go to add-ons, export sheet data. And this is actually a add-on for Google Sheets that I have made myself. It's available on the Google extension store, I guess is what, I don't know what it's called, the add-on store or whatever. It's free, and it lets you export things as either XML or JSON. And in my case, I'm going to export it as JSON. We'll go ahead and select all sheets. Why not? Let's see. Don't need to worry about replacing existing files. Sure, we'll use new line. Why not? Let's see. Don't need to unwrap single row JSON. Don't need to force string values. Don't need to export cell arrays. And don't... actually, hold on. Let's see. Do I want to export sheet arrays or not? Let's see what that looks like, at least. So it's going to visualize it. So this is what it would look like. We'd have castle. Yeah, actually, no, we do want that. We want arrays for this. Okay. So let's close this. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck new line elements. Let's visualize this again. So this is what it would look like. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's export that. And we'll download it. It's not going to be much, but that's fine. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Export sheet data, open sidebar. JSON. Don't need to unwrap. Don't need a force string. We're just going to do that. Make sure that that looks proper. That looks good to me. And then export again. And we'll download this. Alright. So now, if I go to my downloads, which I should have had open already, we'll go to loading, blah, 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 blah. Here we are. So it's going to be these two, and then I'm going to have to pull them into a good spot over here. Let's go to data, folder, loading screen. Pull these both into here. All right. So there's our JSON files in Unity. Now we're actually going to have to make assets, so stuff like this, which would be scriptable objects. And that means we're going to have to make some stuff. Scripts, data, create folder, and I'm going to call it, just going to call it loading, I guess. And let's go ahead and say create C# script. We're going to have, what do I want to call it? Loading. I want to call it loading minigame. Instead, I should call it loading race data. And loading jumble data. And then let that compile real quick. We're going to need, I believe, something similar to this. Yeah. So we'll want to have loading jumble collection. Create C# script. Loading race collection. So a bunch of scripts. They're all going to be fairly short though, which is good. Alright, and now we can close all of these things. Game view, splash view, game settings. Close all of these. We will keep loading view and text rest scene loader open because we might need to address those a little bit later. But for the time being, we're just going to go through here and quickly change these. So this is the collection. Get rid of this. It's not going to have anything. We'll have system.serializable up at the top. And then, of course, at the very top, we'll have namespace, text, oops, no space, quest. All right. And we'll do private const string word field, or actually field, yeah, word equals word. Private const string field output equals output, and then public, oops, loading jumble data. Let's see, JSON object. Yes, I know. I'm going to have to JSON equals null. Okay, that's weird. And using HoosierGames.common. If JSON does not equal null, and then we will have, if I can say JSON serializable, correct? Public override. Oh, really? Doesn't seem right. Okay, there should be that was public. Oh, I guess it wouldn't be override because it's a interface. Public void from JSON object, JSON, then public JSON object to JSON. That should, yep, there we go. JSON object, JSON equals new JSON object, return JSON. JSON dot add, no, you're not. We do that. And then we'll need a public. Actually, we'll do private string word equals empty string. Private string output equals empty string. And then we'll have public getters. Public string word get return word. Got the hiccups. Public string output get return output. All right. And we'll have JSON.add. Let's see, ID is going to be field word, then new JSON string word, JSON.add, field output, new JSON string output. There we go. Might be kind of pointless to even have this to JSON because I don't think I'll ever call it, but it's fine. It won't take, it's not that long to code it. And we'll say from JSON, and then we will say this dot word equals JSON dot get string value field word. This dot output equals JSON dot get string value field output. Ta-da! Isn't that nice? Okay. And actually, no, we can shorten this even further by just doing that. All right. So that would be jumble data. All this namespace, text quest. All that type namespace. This I did not. It is not going to be that. It's going to be type scriptable object, I believe. Yes. As is this. Alright, I don't think we're going to need system.collections for that. Or for this. And I doubt we even used it here. Alright. Get rid of this. Get rid of these. Namespace. Text quest. Oops, not P. Get rid of our mono behavior. Make this system dot serializable. And then we're basically going to be doing the same thing. So I'm just going to copy all of this. Paste that. Alright. Using HoosierGames.common. Put this right here. And then we're just going to rename these values. Rename phrase is equal to phrase. Rename this to phrase. Oops, lowercase. Rename this to phrase. And we should be done. Nice. Okay. So, the last thing I think we need to do is close that, go back to Unity, let that all compile. All that. So these are all fine. Oh, white space. Bah, hate white space. So now, I gotta remember how to do this. I believe it's public static void create asset scriptable object utility dot create asset loading jumble collection. Loading jumble. I will call it collection. And I think that's all I needed to do, except I do have to add. Let me see where I use these. I always forget. Find all references. There we go. I need this menu item. Alright. Oh no, really? Let me guess. Yep. Okay. Well, then I'll just move this over there. Call this loading data jumble. Save that. We will duplicate this. Race. Let's see. Loading jumble. Create loading race asset. Race collection. Loading race collection. Cool. Got all that stuff now. So, what are we going to do? We're going to need a couple of things. Let's see. using, actually, you know what? I guess we could probably do nah, we'll use lists. Using system.collections.generic. Then public list loading jumbled data. Let's call it data equals new list, blah, blah, blah. All that. Alright. And actually, we will have public text asset JSON. Alright. This is going to be fun. How are we going to do this? I guess... I'm not crazy about it. That be if my phone. Let me see. JSON data. We're gonna need a list of. Well, actually, you know what? Do we need that? Okay, here. So this will be a little more rigid on my end than I would prefer. But instead of coming up with a bunch of fields for string keys, I am just going to make sure that my sheets all have the same name as my level IDs. So currently I have, what is it? I think it's level ID dot, okay, D equals level ID dot. So I can do like castle quarters, castle sewers, and all that. So we'll just make sure that all of our sheets have these names, and then we'll be fine. Then we can actually use our enum here to look for specific sections. Hello to Beastly Bro. Currently working on generalizing our loading screen stuff so that it's a separate data asset that we can reference. How are you doing? So for this, we will go ahead and do public void refresh. And then I believe this is a menu item? Context menu, that's what it is. Let's see. I think it's this. Call it refresh. And this will just be how we load everything. So let's go with data.clear. And then private void generate data. And actually, you know what? We can just go ahead and move this over here. Generate data. I am doing fairly well. A little tired, but aside from that, I'm doing fine. Am I streaming tomorrow? Probably not. I think I have a buddy of mine who's throwing a party, and if I end up going to that, then I won't be streaming because I will be away from the computer, and I cannot stream while I am, not at my apartment. So, if I do end up streaming, I'll be tweeting, or I will tweet about it. So keep an eye on the Twitter stream if to make sure that I don't. But I'm guessing I'm not going to be. So data.clear, and then here comes the fun part. So if JSON does not equal null, we will actually be doing our fun stuff. And we will say JSON object. Oh, right. Hold on. Using HoosierGames.com. JSON object. jo equals JSON parser dot parse JSON. All right, dot text. There we go. And then we can just say, this is going to be fun. String, I think it's an array, names equals, let's see. Oh, I don't know if I did a convenience method for this. Enum extensions dot. Oh, good, I did do a get names. Hooray. Get names. Level ID. Does it return a list or a string? Oh, good, it does right there. So we can call this level names. And then for each level names, I guess it'd be string, sorry. String name in level names. JSON array. JA equals, let's see, JO dot get array name. Hello, Kento456. Hope I'm saying that right. This is the dev stream for the first-person text-based adventure Text Quest. Currently, we are setting up a generic way to load data into our loading screen because the loading screen for the game has mini games that you can play. So we are setting up basically a way to pull just whatever data we need for the level that we're loading. Because right now everything we have is hard-coded since we've been setting up the basics for the loading screen for the past couple of streams. So once I finish up with this generate data thing, which shouldn't take too much longer, I'll show you the loading screen and the game itself to let you know what everything's about. But in the meantime, hello. It's always good to have new people stop by the stream. So we get our JSON array, and then now we're going to actually have to make elements from, or data from each one of those elements. So, for int I equals 0, I is less than ja.length. Stupid L. I plus plus. We will say loading, let's see, jumble data. Data equal, oh, can't call it data. Load data equals new jumble data. That, and then JA I believe that should, oh no, I guess I can't do that. I have to say dot get object at index I. And that should basically give us our load data. Yes, it was patented until recently. I believe Namco Bandai had it, I think. And it has expired. So I am happy that I'm able to put that in there because I like having mini games in my loading screens. Let's see. So then we're going to have data.add load data. All right. So that should basically do what we need it to. So let's have that compile. Make sure that there's no errors. Seems like it's fine so far. Ugh, gotta update my asset store stuff. Drives me crazy. Okay, so now we can do assets, create, text quest, loading data jumble. All right, let's pull in our jumble JSON, go up here, hit refresh. Okay, good. So we got a null reference. And where was it? That's interesting. Oh, right. Ah, crap. it's going to do that, isn't it? I'll do if ja dot or equals null continue, because I don't have all of my levels in there yet. So there would be some levels that are going to show up null there. So what we're just going to do for now is say if you don't find it, go to the next iteration until you do find it. And actually, we're going to have to change this to be castle quarters, and then re-download these. Castle quarters. All right, then let's go ahead and delete these. We'll export these again. Let's open that up. Export this again. Hello, Quantum Thinker. Currently breaking out the data loading from our loading screen since it's hard-coded right now. And then we're actually making it a separate class that we can reference and pull data on the level that we're loading. So that way we can get things related to the level as opposed to just having magma all the time. So let's go ahead and show this in Explorer. Move this over here, pull this over here, scroll all the way down, pull these over. Oh crap. No, wait, that's not right. Oh, it popped up behind everything again. I hate it when it does that. Alright, so let's load this. Ah, we got two. And they do not show up. Why is that? Did I forget to make this serializable? No. Alright, I guess it would be. Oh, dang it. Then we'll go ahead and do public. That's fine. I was trying to be fancy and came back to bite me. So that means I can get rid of these then. I don't need these get statements. That's what I get for trying to impress people. Be like, oh, we're going to have private variables that you reference with getters. So now when we go back here, they should actually show up. Once it compiles, of course. And then there we go. Castle and king. Ta-da! Cool. So, Kentaro, or I want to call you Kentaro, but I don't think that that's what you're Kento. So this is TextQuest. We'll show you the quick loading screen right now. And I haven't hooked up the generalized loading yet, so it's still hard-coded stuff, but that's fine for now. And click through our loading screen, or our splashes. So let's do start, new game, enter my name, sort of blaze through all these. So here's our first minigame, which is a jumbled word. And it's fairly easy right now because it's just, one word. Magma. And hopefully that'll be a lot better once we actually get more than one word, because one word is kind of right now. But this is the current loading screen. It's fairly basic, but I think the mini games help alleviate the loading times. The problem is that the loading time takes a while because all the textures have to be generated at runtime. So it kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, everything looks nice. So, as I said, it is a first-person text-based adventure, which means that everything in the world is represented by the text you use to describe it. So carpet is carpet, tile is tile, wall is wall. And then door is door, of course. Alright, I forgot that I need to redo the fresco painting. Maybe not. It doesn't look that bad, actually. So. Alright, so we know that everything works still, which is good. Nothing broke between last stream and this stream. So now we're actually going to have to create ways to get specific. Let's see, jumble collection. We need to get specific values from here. So we're going to want to say private void. So we're going to have public, not void, loading jumble data, get data, not date, level ID. What kind of genre is it? It's adventure, is what I can't really think of classifying it as anything else. It's open world adventure game. So the idea is that the first couple of levels are a little bit more linear. You know, you just go from point A to point B, solve puzzles, pick up items to interact with things in proper ways. And then after you get to the third level, everything kind of opens up so you can go in any direction you want, interact with not everything, but almost everything. And you can just sort of experiment and see what you can do. So I'd say open world adventure game. Get data. So now we need to say, oh, our wonderful friends lambda expressions. So using system.link. And actually, Kento, there's a demo currently. It's an older demo, but it gets the concept across. And you can actually download that from the website, which is linked below the stream. So we have get data, and what we want to do is we want to say return data.first or default. I don't think I need to do that. I can just do this. D dot. Oh no, crap! That's not gonna work. Right, I didn't think about that. I actually got to change this up a bit. So right now, we'll just return null to get rid of the squiggle. I actually want to separate my data into data by level, which okay, that might not be too bad actually. No, it doesn't make sense for the jumbled data to know what level it's attached to. It shouldn't care. So what we want to do is, I guess we'll just do this real quick. Public class level data. I don't like that, but it's not the end of the world. We'll have public level ID ID equals level ID dot none. Then public list loading JSON or loading jumble data equals new. So instead of having one big massive list of data, we're actually going to have smaller lists, or a smaller list of level datas. System.serializable, which has the level ID and then the data associated with that level ID. That way we don't just have a mass collection of data itself. That's cool. Well, I mean, everyone has to start somewhere. I think JavaScript is usually where a lot of game developers start, or usually around that area, because it's fairly simple to understand the concepts of programming through it. If you're starting out, if you're looking at programming for games, I would suggest switching to C#, especially if you're using Unity. If you're not using Unity, if you're doing web-based stuff, obviously JavaScript is what you kind of have to use. I was going to say something else and I kind of just drifted left it off there. Oh, right. So I need to change this. What type of games have you made so far? Or messed around with? Okay, so now we're going to have fun with this. Let's see. So we're going to want to make level data, new data equals new level data. Oh, phaser. I just recently messed with phaser, actually. New data dot id equals crap equals. Oh, this kind of sucks. So we cast everything to a string for our enum, and then we're going to cast the strings back into the enum. Go figure. Equals name dot to enum level id. A graphical version of Progress Quest. An RPG that plays itself. I mean, if you can make it work, then, my question is always why not? Okay, so now we're going to want to do... Actually, let's copy this and move it below this. Doesn't make sense to declare variables if we're not going to end up using them anyway. And then we're going to do list. And actually, you know what? We will just say new data dot data. There we go. That works very well. So very minimal on our part. What we had to change. Level data. Okay. Let's see how that works. Are RPGs games that you enjoy playing yourself? Are you more of a web, mobile type of game player? There we go. See, that kind of sucks. That's the one thing that I don't like about Unity's array elements is if you have a string for the very first thing, it's actually not bad. And you know what? Let's just do that. No, let's not do that. Because that would make it inconvenient to look for it, of course. But if this was a string, element 0 would basically be the value of the string, which makes it very easy to see all of that. And we can get around that by, making our own custom inspector, but it takes a lot longer than it needs to, and that's kind of pointless for this. So I think I'm going to be lazy and basically just do this. You know what, screw it. We're just going to make this a string. String. Well, you know what, actually. Command Z. Public. String ID equals nothing. We'll just call it the string ID. And we'll say new data dot string ID equals name. Oops. Double clicked. So we'll let this go again. And then we will try to refresh this and see what happens. Fair enough. I was just asking because usually if you have a... My cat wants attention. If you have a sort of enjoyment for a specific genre, then it makes it easier to make games in that genre. Usually. Not always the case, but usually. Just because you know the ins and outs of it. Oh, good. Nothing happened. Well, that's not good. Why did that... Oh, because... Right. Because I forgot to add new data. Say data.add new data. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't actually know if I've played any really good RPGs recently. It's been kind of dead. The last one I really liked was probably Fallout New Vegas. Let's refresh this. Okay, so we get one. Call it Castle Quarters. See, and now it's nice because we can actually read it, which means that when we have a list of 20 of them, it's really fast and easy to actually open the one we want. So we have our string ID. All these are rather unimportant for the inspector. In fact, most of this is unimportant for the inspector. It's just a convenience to look at them. Okay, so we get all of that. Let's hit save real quick. We're gonna go all the way back up here, and we're gonna say, what do I want to do? Level data LD equals data dot first. I guess we'll do first or default. First or default. No, we'll call this level data. First or default LD dot ID equals ID. All right. And then we will do. Oh, this is going to be great. Return level data equals null, question mark, null, otherwise, level data, data, random, range, 0, level data, data, count. Okay, that should be good. More like a satire. True, but the nice thing about the really good satire actually knows its source material, because then it lets you poke fun at it more closely. Hello, 18 Mark Week. What am I doing tonight? Tonight we are working some more on our loading screen. So currently all of our loading screen minigames have hard-coded stuff, and we're actually going to break that apart so that it can ask for stuff to load based on the level that you're loading. So currently magma, for example, is the only word that loads whenever you do like the word jumble minigame, and we're going to basically make it so that it'll contextually pick words based on what level you're loading. Okay, so that should get us our data, and from there we can do everything we need it to. So let's go back here, make sure that there's no problems. And next, can I right click to do it? Oh, I can, good. Create text request, loading data erase. Cool. So there's our jumble collection. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Now we're going to have to make one for our erase collection. And fortunately, for the most part, I can just kind of copy a lot of this. That's what I want. So we'll copy that, paste it. And oh, why are you mad? Oh, and also we're going to want to say using system.collection.generic. Yes. And this is going to be loading race data. Loading race data. Loading race data. And you know what, that might, oh, right. We also need to do using HoosierGames.common. I think, oh, why are you mad? It does not contain, what do you mean it doesn't contain a reference to that? Are you just being stupid and not wanting to compile? Yep, it was just being stupid and not wanting to compile for some reason. Oh, right, I need system.link. There we go. All right. will let that field come in once it compiles, and then we should just be able to drag in our JSON, and then it'll work. So let's pull in race, refresh, castle quarters, string ID, data, King Meininger. I hope I said that right. Meininger? Meidinger. I don't know, it's Swiss. So, which actually I think is German. And then Serifton. Okay. So those all work. And that means that we actually have to hook these up now. Hello, Rexterra. Why would you use Unity to build a text game? Because it is a first-person text game. So, I will show you. I like to call it a first-person text-based adventure. I probably don't need to start from the splash screen, but force of habit has me doing it. Enter my name, of course, normal mode, green, and of course. Oh man, if only I knew what the word was. I need longer words. I need to come up with words that are like 10 letters long or something. Except those words are incredibly hard to unscramble. And that would be my cat. I also need to figure out if I can find a way to lower the loading time. Because I don't know how I can make that faster. Besides having, just different textures. And textures that aren't generated at runtime. So, Text Quest is a first-person text-based adventure where everything in the world is made up of the text that represents it. So carpet is the word carpet, wall is the word wall, tiles is the word tile, door is the word door. So I'm going to stop playing. But that would be why I'm using Unity, because it's got a lot of 3D assets, which you wouldn't expect from a text game. So now we actually have to hook these things up. And let me think. What's the catch? What do you mean by what's the catch? Because what's the catch could mean anything. Hero prefab. Item database. I could probably get away with just having the loading screen itself reference these, I think. Yeah, I guess, yeah, no, I think we can do that. Other than, what's the game about? So, it is a first-person text-based adventure where you go to meet the king, and before you can do so, a wizard shows up and turns him to stone. So you have to chase the wizard down so that you can turn the king back to normal. That's the narrative reason for doing things, but the actual mechanics are centered around open exploration with interacting with basically every object in the game. So you can slap a fish against a door, or combine two, or try to combine two objects, because not necessarily every object is going to combine, to get a certain item, and then you can use that item to further interact with the world and progress through the game. And then, of course, there's the open exploration of the later parts of the game, where you can go in any order, do whatever you want, and just sort of explore on your own to uncover what's happening. My cat is climbing all over me because she wants attention. Sorry, cat. I don't know if you can hear her purring or not, guys. If you can, I'm sorry. But she enjoys to sit on my shoulders while I'm working. So, now we actually have to hook everything up. So let's open our loading screen. Let's go ahead and go to our mini games. You're going to open up, or... No, it doesn't seem to be... Okay, let's try that again. Was that enough of an elevator pitch for you, or... Yarg. Phones. Or would you like to know more, Rexterra? Which, by the way, welcome. I don't know if I actually said welcome to you or not. A lot of new people tonight. Makes me happy. Well, thanks for stopping by, Quantum Thinker. Always good to see you. So let's see. Let's go ahead and get... we'll keep the debug in there for now. You know what? No, we know it works. So we can go ahead and close that. So, start minigame. Do I want to have a level ID for that? I think I do, actually. Let's go to our definition here. Oh, not definition. Go to our base. Oh, it's an abstract, isn't it? Right. Go to definition. Yep. So we're going to give this a level ID. Not level description. Level ID. Level. And basically, it will have to pass start minigame a specific level. That way it knows what data to pull. So we will have our puzzle. Oh, you know what? We can get rid of puzzle word and all this stuff too. So that means that we can just have a public loading jumble collection reference. Call it data. Start minigame. Level ID. Level. And that means we would have private list loading jumble data, and it's going to be our, I guess we'll call it minigame data equals new jumble data. And what we'll do is add another get to this and say you know what? Why don't we just have get data return the actual level data or the list of level data for it. So list. So instead of a random.range, it's just going to return the entire list from level data. And instead of null, it's just going to be a new list that's empty. Okay. That way, for this, we don't have to do anything special. We can just say minigame data equals data.getData level. And there we go. So now, target, this is going to be loading jumble data. Target is going to equal minigame data, random.range, minigame data. And I think everything else is the same, basically. Nice. That worked out great, because I gave them all the same name. So I can get rid of this list, and get rid of these guys. So we'll just have one thing called data, and that's going to be the data associated with it. And then, yeah, everything should work. Let's go back here, make sure that there are no compile errors. Yep, and right there. Oh, right, that's in the other thing. Level ID. Level. All right. Alright, that's in the typing of the quest one. Forgot about that. Level ID. Level. And level ID. Level. Don't really need the riddle one anymore, but let that compile. And we're going to have to change this. Right, so fade in, fade out. should probably have the current level, I think. Let me see. Find all references. Should have this in the scene loader. Yep. And I believe that that will all have happened after we set everything, so that means that we can... Is this public? I don't remember. Good, it is public. So that means that we can just do... where were we? Here we go. Current minigame. Where did I do it? Right, it's down here. There we go. Text quest scene loader dot current level. We'll just copy this down here. Paste it right there. And that should basically take care of it. So now when we load everything back up, it should actually get us data pulled from the data classes we just made. So let's open this up. Let's go to our jumble. We have to assign loading jumble collection. And then while we're at it, let's go to our race. And let's change it to. So we're going to have... Do I even use this anymore? Right. Oh, right, because that's a different thing. Never mind. Don't need to worry about that. Right. So this is going to be public loading race data. Oh. Collection data. And we would have private list loading race data, game data equals new, and then change this to be that. Get rid of this entirely. Change this to minigame data, minigame count. And I think that's basically everything that we need. Let's see. Right, except we want to do minigame data equals data.getData level. System collection.generic. Why? That. Okay. What did I do wrong here? Oh, right. No. That's... I always love it when I do something stupid and I can't figure out what I've done. Loading race. Oh, right, because jumbo. Right. Right. That was me being stupid. Just copy this. List loading race data. All right. So now, if we go back, all right, everything's set up. Let's let that compile. Oh, you know, I really should have color for that too. That'll be something we mess with later then. Race collection. Okay. So all of that should be set up. And now if we play, we should actually get stuff pulled from those data classes. So start, new, Chris, yes, normal, right-handed, green, yes, and yes. Yes! King Meidinger. Ha 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 ha! Now, that is a little annoying that it's going to have to... There we go. So it is going to eventually... Ah, crap, I hit M instead of N. Ha! I like it. Well, there we go. So it works. Ah. Okay. So, the base for it is there, which is good. So now all we would have to do is, well, by we I mean me, off the stream sometime, is actually go through and populate my spreadsheets so that they actually contain data that is relevant. So currently we only have our castle quarters for both the race and the jumble, but as time goes on, I'll slowly be filling these things in, and we'll actually get transitions and data for each specific level. So, what else could we do tonight? We kind of blazed through that really quickly. Let's see. Do we want to... No, that's probably not that great. Let's see. I'm not sure. Does anyone have any ideas while I get a drink? Sorry. Talking for an hour makes my mouth a little dry. So, we've generalized our loading screen. I don't think we really need any more work on the loading screen itself. I think it's in a good place. Oh wait, no, I almost forgot. Because that would be stupid of me. Let's go to, so we have word jumble and word race. Move this, let's close that. Okay, so we're going to have public text puzzle label. Right, no, that's fine. Then we're going to have public string placeholder text equals nothing. And start minigame, a part of start minigame, is going to be, or actually, you know what? No, it's not going to be that. It's going to be loading view, select minigame, blah, 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 create minigame equals that. And then we're going to say input dot placeholder dot text. Oh, not GUI text. Text. Whoa. What the heck? Dot. What the heck? Hold on. I feel like Unity just kind of crapped itself. Text or input field dot. Does it not have UGUI elements? No, it does. Dot text. Oh. No. Placeholder. Oh, placeholder's a graphic. That's gross. Why would placeholder be a graphic and not a text object? That's really strange. Huh. Okay, that's unexpected. And that explains why it says GUI text instead of text. Joy. I kind of want to just be lazy. Yeah, let me see. What do I have up here? Right. Do I need root image anymore? No, I don't. So I can get rid of that. But we will have public text placeholder text. Okay. Now we can do what I was going to do, which would be placeholder text dot text equals current minigame dot placeholder text. I'm going to rename placeholder text up here to placeholder label. I like to use label instead of text. Okay. Let that compile. And while that's happening, let's go ahead and let's adjust these to. So for word jumble is going to be that's fine. And actually, you know what? We're going to go ahead and go to scenes, test, menu test, because we're going to have to adjust the view a little bit more. Alright, let's open this up. Input field. Good, I only disabled placeholder. Ugh, why is this? That's always so annoying. Let's copy this. Paste. Component values. Alright. And let's go ahead and make this smaller. Like, I don't know, 60. Maybe 48. Yeah, that's nice. And blah, 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 blah. Let's say input field text. We will do placeholder is here. And then for our view, we're going to pull placeholder right there. Nice. And the reason we're doing that is because, save that and let's go back to our other splash fade, is because not everyone's going to instantly know what to do. And if that's one thing there's one thing I've learned throughout the process of making this is just because I assume it's intuitive does not make it intuitive enough. You basically just need to stop short of having red arrows pointing to where you want to go and what you want to do. Sure, I'll be Chris. Yes, normal. Right-handed. Green. Yes. Yes. Uh-oh. That's no good. Wait, pause. Why didn't that do what I wanted it to? UI, loading canvas, view, root, input field. Right, I don't think I need to specify a placeholder. Alright, so it did it. Crap. But it looks like because it selects the input field, there must be a problem with how it does it. Dang, I was really hoping I could use the input field's placeholder text to do it. That might not work, though. That kind of makes me sad. Let's try that again, see if that was just a weird freak accident thing. Sure. Right, it seems to just... Right, so you can see it briefly popping up if I mash enter. So, I didn't used to do that. Dang it. Cecilta. Cecilta. Oh, I'm not spelling that. I want to spell the actual word. Right. So that's frustrating. Dang it. That sucks. Is that really how it works? Hold on. Shouldn't it? Hold on. What the hell? They changed how they do. Thank you, Unity. They changed how their input fields work. Because of course they did. So I'm not crazy because before it as long as you didn't have anything in this field, you could see the placeholder text. Now, if you have the field selected, no, even then it's not right. What the hell? Like if it's ever been selected at all, apparently it just like makes the placeholder text go away. Thanks, Unity. Thanks a bunch. Okay. So that's not great. If I'm lucky, loading prefabs view. Maybe it's an option if I'm lucky. Why would you have an input field that's read only? Oh, whatever. That really makes me sad. Great. Great. Just great. So that's a problem. And that is a problem that I'm going to have to figure out how to get around. Of course. Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? You have placeholder text. Why would you want your placeholder text to be there if it's selected? You know, it's not like people are could immediately forget if they clicked on it without looking at it. Or, why would you want it to come back if you didn't have it selected? What kind of person are you? Great. So that is problematic. I honestly don't know what I could do to get around that. Let's check to see if there's something in the code that I can do. So we'll do like input dot target graphic text component. Let's see. Let's go all the way up to the top. Activate input field animation asterisk chalk. Really, that's a thing. Oh, for passwords. Okay. Cancel invoke caret blink rate caret position. Let's see what comes up when we say placeholder. Oh, look, it's just placeholder. Go figure. Of course, it can never be easy. Let's see. Placeholder. I doubt that it's going to tell me anything, is it? Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. Uh, Great. Well, that kind of put a dent in my path, because I'm going to be fighting the engine, which I love to do. So, how do I want to try and handle this even? Yeah, that's not great. Okay, so still trying to think of a good way to do this. Wow, I'm just caught off guard by that much of a change. It's a very small change, but I hope that's a bug and not an intentional change, actually. If it's a bug, it'll get patched out, hopefully. If it's a change, then they're stupid, and I don't know why they would do it that way. But, of course. So, fun thing. We're going to hunt this down then. Um, Here we go, the bit bucket. So Unity is open sourced its UI, which is nice because we can actually read and figure out what's going on. So let's go to source code, Unity engine.ui, UI core, I believe, and then we want input field. Okay. So let's figure out how they're doing this. I hate the way that they handle their stuff because they use protected for everything. But right. So let's look for this. No, of course it's in the chart. Right. Placeholder. Let's see. Placeholder is empty is equal string null or empty full text. Okay. Does the caret count as part of the full text? I'm guessing that would explain why it would go away. Um, let's see. What is full text? Full text equals text substring 0 caret caret position. Okay, so I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to play, get to the loading screen, and then hit backspace. So I should delete basically everything. New, blah, 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 right, green. Yes, yes. Right, so there's nothing going on here. Like there's no way to get around it. There's no way to stop it. Blah. Great. So that means that it's a stupid, terrible bug on Unity's part. Let's see. If placeholder does not equal null, placeholder equals is empty. Or placeholder not enabled equals is empty. And is empty is string that is null or empty full text. If input.composition string.length is greater than 0. Else. Okay, so what are these? What is text? I'm guessing it's the string. So we want to find full text, basically. String full. Oh, it's just declared right above it. Go figure. So full text sloppy too. Uh, I'm always hypercritical of Unity's code because they're just so. So, what's text then? Oh, this is probably going to give me 10,000 hits. Oh, look, only almost 300. You know, that's nothing. So, actually, we can probably fix that by having that. It won't fix all of them, but it'll fix most of it. So now we should be able to find text a little bit easier. Text, 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 text. Text, 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 text. It's probably all the way up here at the top, isn't it? Validate input. Nope, don't need to worry about that. Text, text. Text generator, text generator, text. Here we go. Return mkeyboard.text. That makes no sense. Otherwise, return mtext. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Okay. So m underscore text. What do we got here? Starts as an empty string. Return mtext. Mtext equals value. Well, I bet that just text is used everywhere, isn't it? Text component does not equal null. That's not what we want. That's not what we care about. Text does not equal value. Just validate. That's late update. What's mkeyboard? Oh, I love looking through Unity's code. Touchscreen keyboard. That is not even close to what we need. Okay. So, great. That's incredibly frustrating. So we're going to do something fun here, and we are going to do this. In loading view, this is going to be the worst way of debugging possible. But we're going to do it. We're going to say private void update, then debug.log, not logger, log input dot text. And we're going to go actually ahead and do string format that. Okay. We're going to wrap it in braces so that we know that it's not just, empty space or something like that. And we can tell if it's like a space or an extra whatever. This is the worst way of debugging because it's going to have to happen every frame, but we'll have to live with that. Okay, so let's play through here. That makes me immensely sad, though, that Unity updated that. Because, of course, they did. Start, new game, press, yes, normal, right, green, yes, yes. So it's just, it's nothing. It's nothing, but for some reason, it's giving us for some reason it's still not showing the text. So even if I enter text and then backspace it, it still doesn't do it. That's great. That's great. It's wonderful. So it's literally nothing. But for some reason, that nothing is enough to make the input field behave incorrectly. Hold on. Let me check back here. let's look for. No, I'm just gonna look for placeholder. Okay. They're all right here. The problem is, I feel like full text is incorrect. It has to be counting something else inside its value. That is the only thing I could think of. Full text equals input.composition string. What is input? Let's go ahead and put a space between there. Oh, it's actual, like it's class input. Yeah, that was stupid of me, of course. That makes sense. Right. So, right. So this is what we want. Input.composition string. See what we can get. Composition string. Okay, that's not anything useful. And you know what? Let's do this. Dot is null or empty. I'm just curious to see if it's going to be listed as null or not. So if that debug's true, I'm going to be mad. If the debug's false, I'm going to be even madder. This is a no-win situation. I might end the stream a little early tonight, just because it's not going to be fun to sit there and watch me try to figure out what this bug is. Or I guess if you're, really cool or something, then you might have a standing desk. But yes, normal, green, right, green, yes. Ah! Ah! Empty. Of course it's empty. Why wouldn't it be empty? Great. So, thank you, Unity. So it's debugging true, which means that it is null, it is empty, and that means that it should be showing placeholder text. But it's not. Great. Just great. That means that this code right here is the culprit. Okay. So, great. If the caret position is at 0, substring of 0, 0 would still be 0. Composition string could be anything. That's great. I'm kind of willing to guess that for some reason the carrot is being treated as a character, but only during this calculation. God, that makes me annoyed. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm going to end the stream and do a lot of digging. So hooray! We got what we wanted to do done, and then we ran into a stupid bug that Unity built itself, which makes it hard to get around until they update it. And yeah, let's call that a night then. Tomorrow I probably won't be streaming because I have a party that my buddy's throwing, so I will probably be over there. New Year's is probably gonna be the same. Probably won't be streaming again. But as always, keep an eye on the Twitter feed. That'll let you know if I'm planning on streaming or not. So that will be a much more reliable source in the future than my current opinions right now. But I'm willing to bet that for today and tomorrow, for tomorrow and the day after that, I probably will not be streaming since it's New Year's. So, as always, thank you all for watching. We had a lot of new people here this stream. Hopefully they were interested. Hard to judge. Some of them seemed interested, and some of them seemed kind of just kind of meh about it. But in any case, it's always good to have new streamers. So anyway, as always, thank you all for watching, and I will see you